Lift Yourself comes out with him just talking nonsense. By the way, I
you're the greatest.
By the way, I did.
Yeah.
By the way,
Yeah.
You wrote the song.
I did.
Saying that not Kendrick Lamar, but UMG itself is actually responsible and culpable for the damages to his reputation, and they actively took part in the destruction of his reputation.
Did Drake say he was quitting rap for his next chapter? Drake's about to make a move so shocking, even his most loyal fans might abandon him. Corny, desperate, the entire hip-hop world is asking, is he intentionally sabotaging his own legacy? It certainly feels like it after his recent social media post. This wasn't just a casual update. It was a calculated response to the mounting criticism swirling around him. But instead of addressing the music, or the perceived lack thereof, he took a different route. Many are interpreting his words as an attempt to intimidate.
She's a top shelf lady, top shelf kind of gal, man.
Wait, so she knows all the two-letter words?
Oh yeah, no, like
yeah.
triple word score.
Do you know za is a word?
I know now, obviously.
Z-A, yeah.
You guys gotta get a game.
A subtle flexing of power aimed at those who've dared to question his moves, particularly those close to Kendrick Lamar. But is this a display of strength, or a desperate act from a man who feels cornered? The carefully crafted words, the vague promises, the thinly veiled threats, they all paint a picture of someone trying to control the narrative, but failing spectacularly. This, however, was just the beginning of a much larger unraveling. He claims he's non-confrontational and treats rap like a sport. But let's unpack that.
Well, I think it was also because I made that a part of the show that was unpredictable. So at the time, I was legit, sometimes I would, do the first few bars and then switch it.
Is he really the victim he portrays himself to be? He says that he grew up non-confrontational and always treated this game as a sport, where his pen won gold, that the podium has been hard for all of us to ignore. He then goes on to say that he hopes that his honesty is seen as clarity, not charity. But is this honesty? Or is this another attempt to spin a narrative that benefits him? The idea that Drake, a man known for subtle digs and strategic beefs, is non-confrontational is laughable to many.
Yeah, I just, it's a shame if you don't notice the shift in energy around you. I mean, you can't be oblivious to what's going on around you.
And the sport analogy? It's a convenient way to frame his recent losses, to make them seem like mere setbacks in a game, rather than genuine blows to his credibility. Yet, the reality of his past actions reveals a starkly different picture. The truth is, Drake's history tells a far different story. Remember the Kendrick Lamar beef? That wasn't a friendly game of tag. That was a full-blown lyrical war, and Drake, by most accounts, took a significant hit. That loss seemed to trigger a complete rewrite of the rules.
And then we just started going nuts, and we got out literally in the middle of the street, blocked cars, we all hugged. And then when I got back in the car, I realized that I had torn my suit.
Suddenly, the goalpost shifted. What was once about lyrical prowess and artistic merit became about something else. Hard to say exactly what. He's trying to redefine what it means to be an MC, to control the narrative of his own defeat. But can you really change the rules of the game after you've already lost? This attempt to spin his loss into some kind of strategic maneuver reeks of desperation. He's trying to convince everyone that he's still playing by the same rules, even as he's bending them to his will. And now, the question becomes, what's driving this sudden shift? His podium comment suggests he feels pushed aside, like he's being unfairly removed from his rightful place at the top. But is he being pushed, or is he creating his own downfall? He talks about the podium being hard to ignore these days, implying that the landscape of hip-hop has shifted against him. But let's be real, the landscape didn't change overnight.
We were watching it on the iPad, the pre-telecast, and it kept cutting out. And then it just cut right back on for the moment where they're like, and best rap album goes, and they said Take Care, and I almost was like, oh, it almost didn't even sound like my album.
Drake's own actions, his perceived lack of artistic growth, and his controversial decisions have contributed to this shift. He's playing the victim, claiming that forces beyond his control are conspiring to dethrone him. But is it a conspiracy? Or is it simply the consequence of his own choices? Is he truly a victim of circumstance? Or is he failing to adapt to a changing game? The answer, it seems, may lie in the cryptic messages he's now sending. What's this next chapter he's teasing? The cryptic language, the ominous tone, it all points to something big, something that could redefine his career. Many believe it's his impending lawsuit against his label. Is he about to expose some industry secrets, some hidden agenda that's been working against him? Or is this a desperate attempt to regain control, to deflect from his recent artistic missteps?
Or I would genuinely just freestyle with the auto-tune, you know, so I think people started being like, oh, what's gonna be said tonight?
The timing is certainly suspicious. Just as the criticism reaches a fever pitch, he hints at a legal battle that could shake the foundations of his career. It feels less like a strategic move and more like a Hail Mary pass, a last-ditch effort to reclaim his narrative. However, this legal maneuver is not without its risks. He's essentially rolling out his legal battle like a new album. Think about it. The cryptic teasers, the carefully worded statements, the building anticipation. It's a calculated campaign designed to grab headlines and shift the focus away from his music, or lack thereof. But is this really the move to save his career? Or is it the move that will ruin his legacy forever? By prioritizing a legal battle over his art, he's sending a clear message. The music isn't the priority anymore.
Well, yeah, like for the OGs, you know, like for Kano, for Ashley, for Scorch, like all those guys, like it's like, you know, to see them be able to continue this is an incredible feeling for me.
It's about control, about power, about proving a point. He's betting everything on this lawsuit, hoping it will vindicate him, restore his image, and silence his critics. But what if it backfires? What if it exposes him instead? What if this calculated gamble ends up being his biggest misstep? The implications of this move are far-reaching. He's even warning his fans that they might not support him after this. This next chapter may leave you feeling uneasy, he says. Is this a sign of self-awareness, a rare moment of honesty from a man known for carefully crafted personas? Or is it a last-ditch effort to control the narrative, to prepare his followers for the inevitable fallout? By acknowledging the potential for backlash, he's attempting to preemptively manage the damage. He's saying, I know this might look bad, but trust me, it's for a reason. But can he really expect his fans to blindly follow him into this legal quagmire? Is this a genuine warning or a manipulative tactic? He's trying to keep some sort of support without letting people know that he's aware of how desperate he seems by doing what he's doing and how it's going to look. He knows that everything is going to end up getting out of control for him. Ultimately, his actions reflect a deeper shift in the industry.
I just like kind of woke up one day like, yo, this is my time. This is my this is my thing. I run this, you know, like nobody can really talk to me. I'm good at what I do.
Regardless of the outcome, Drake's actions are changing the game. But at what cost? Is he sacrificing his credibility for a chance at redemption? This isn't just about a lawsuit or a social media post. It's about the very nature of hip-hop and the role of an artist. By prioritizing legal battles and image control over artistic expression, he's blurring the lines between celebrity and spectacle. He's showing a generation of artists that beefs and court cases are more important than the music itself. He's also showing that the perception of being a victim can be more powerful than actual artistic merit. But is this the legacy he wants to leave? Is he willing to trade his artistic integrity for a fleeting moment of vindication? Is he truly changing the game? Or is he simply playing a losing hand? The future of his career, and perhaps the industry itself, hangs in the balance. Where does Drake go from here? This situation is unprecedented in hip-hop. Are we witnessing the end of an era, or a new, darker chapter? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain. Drake's next move will be one of the most closely watched in hip-hop history.